Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Coming to you with this week's Quit of the Week, which contains a bonus little quit at the end. And also, like I said in the teaser or the intro or the thing that comes on top of this video, that there's some good news. Anyway, we'll start with the Quit of the Week. So, Quit of the Week is quitting plans. A lot of us make these plans. Some of them are short-term plans, some are long-term plans. But I think a lot of times we make a plan and then we get kind of emotionally attached to the plan, or we've invested enough time in setting things up for the plan that we tend to not deviate from it. And I'll tell you a few examples of this. First off, my plan for the week was to talk about quitting perfectionism, and I've quit that plan because this other thing came up. Very small quit. But the actual plan that brought it up was, as some of you know, I am waiting on my dear friend Elon Musk to deliver me a Tesla. I don't know Elon Musk, but might as well, throw that out into the universe. And my lease on my Mazda that I currently drive runs out next week. And so I was like, what do I do until this Tesla arrives? And so a dear friend of mine was going to let me rent his electric Fiat for just the cost of insurance, which sounded like a great plan at the time. And it would have been if I never left San Diego. But in the past month, I've been to Los Angeles a few times, and I realized with the book coming out and with podcast guests being up there, I need the freedom to be able to leave San Diego, go up to LA, maybe go to Arizona for something. I just can't have, let me clarify, an electric Fiat has a range of 80 miles, so you can't go too far without having to stop and recharge. And the more I got close to the time that I was going to have this Fiat as my primary driving car, the more that little thing kicked in, that kicks in whenever I know a quit is necessary. And it's that like fear and kind of angsty feeling. Like the last time I went to Los Angeles, I remember saying goodbye to somebody like, well, this is the last time I'll see you for 6 months because I'm not sure how I'm going to make it back here. And I hated that trapped feeling. My friends know that my word du jour de everything is freedom. And to be confined to San Diego without freedom was making me really anxious. And so as the universe would have it, somebody mentioned to me Sunday, yeah, I'm not going to wait for my Tesla anymore. I got the refund back, or I got a refund on my deposit, and I'm going to wait for the second version of the Tesla. It's going to have a better, more legitimate autopilot. It'll drive itself, etc. And I thought, okay, this conversation is coming for a reason. My plan was to keep the Fiat for 6 months or however long it was going to take to get the Tesla, but that anxiety was creeping in based on the plan. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is, I had the Fiat. I already had it at my house. I'd driven it a few times. And, I had already said, okay, Jordan, my friend, I'll take this for 6 months. And I was, told everybody, this is my plan. But it was anxiety producing. And same thing, you might have made similar plans. Like, okay, I'm going to go do this vacation this year and I'm going to accomplish these goals. And then we're going to go to this fair and this. And as you get closer to the time, if you start to have the feeling that I had when it got close to the time, like, oh, maybe when I made the decision initially, this sounded like a good plan, but things change. You're not the same person today you were yesterday. Circumstances may not be the same today as they were yesterday. So quit plans that no longer work for you. And they could be big, they could be small. But the fact that I suddenly said, okay, I'm quitting this plan. I'm going to get myself a car now that I can drive to Los Angeles or wherever. Okay, it's not electric. It's, I'm going to wait for the Tesla. I'll eventually have a Tesla, but I can't just put everything on hold and have this kind of angsty feeling because I made a plan. The plan is gone. I am picking up a car that, yes, it burns gas and I drive like 3 miles a week. So aside from Los Angeles, it's okay. But I felt immediately freer when I no longer had that plan in place because the plan was very suffocating and it was anxiety producing. And you might feel the same. Not sure what it is for you, but if you're ever like going down into a plan and you realize that it's giving you some friction in some way, maybe stop and reevaluate. And this can even go for smaller plans. I know we talked, I think it was last week, about quitting maybe. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't be a maybe. But, for example, I was having some problems getting the Fiat charged yesterday, and it was taking a lot longer than I thought. And I had some plans with a friend. at night. And I knew that she was a good enough friend to know that if I said, okay, I need to quit these plans because I am hours behind thanks to charging. And sure enough, I called her. She was totally down with that. And that's the other kind of plan that you can quit is, if you've said you're going to do something and the other person is really like counting on you for it, that falls back into the please don't quit maybe, or quit maybe, please don't just abandon things and let people down. However, if it's something that is adding a lot of stress to your day, maybe you've overplanned yourself, then that's the kind of thing where you may need to discuss with whomever you've made the plans. Hey, can we move this to another day? If not, best to give the caveat, I'll still make it, but just explain this is, my day, I've just overscheduled myself. I'm getting kind of, like I feel a little frazzled. My nerves are frayed. I really just need some downtime. And I'm sure they'll probably understand because you would reciprocate and do the same for them, right? Okay. Now we're going to move on to the viewer question, and it comes from Carla, who I adore. She listens to the podcast. She messages me with ideas. I love her. So Carla asked what you do, or how do you know whether something is a quit that is temporary or a quit that's permanent? And I would say you don't have to. Sometimes it may make I think I've done lives before about, okay, well, if you call something a quit, then you're not going to do it again. And there is a benefit in that, absolutely. It's a great mental reminder. Okay, I have quit traveling with a suitcase. That's never going to happen again, okay? Me plus suitcase equals frowny face. However, that's just to serve as a reminder to me. But what if something comes along 5 years down the road, I desperately need to travel with a suitcase, and all the circumstances have changed. I now have like 20 personal assistants, and they're going to roll my suitcase around for me, and the suitcase somehow is indestructible and the wheels will not fall off. Okay, great. I'm going to quit quitting suitcases, and so I will unquit. And my point to Carla is, a lot of times when I've quit things that I thought I'm never going to do this again, circumstances changed and I've unquit. I quit multimedia because I was back in age 20, doing a lot of just kind of Photoshop stuff, but turns out, little known fact, I was doing it in St. Louis for Monsanto, everybody's favorite company. That was one of our clients, trying to help them convince people that hormones in the milk were good for you using a dancing cow. All of this is true. So yeah, I quit multimedia at some point, and then 20 years down the road, I was offered a position essentially doing the same kind of thing, but for political election reform. Totally different story. Did I unquit that quit? Yes. I worked for the digital media group because it was doing something I was passionate about. I was not passionate about bovine somatotropin, frankly. So that's the long-winded answer, is that you don't necessarily have to know. You can think that a quit, you just need to live right now, right? And so if right now you want to quit something for right now, you don't need to put a lot of weight on whether or not it's a permanent quit or a temporary quit. You just need to know that whatever you're doing that you're quitting now isn't working for you now. And like Chardonnay said, our trail hiker from the episode about her quitting the Appalachian Trail, quitting doesn't mean you're not going to do something. It just means you're not going to do it right now. And I love that. I am misquoting her a little bit, but that was the gist. So thank you, Carla, for your question. And as promised, a little bit of good news. I turned in the first draft proof edit of my book back to the publisher, I believe it was Friday, and I got an email back that said, okay, thank you for submitting that. Now the next process may take so long, do not get anxious. It's like, oh, okay. They must already know me. And then I got an email this morning saying, here's the second draft of your book. Like, did they think I was going to get anxious in 5 days? I don't know. That's kind of hilarious. However, I now have the second and what will hopefully be almost final proof of my book. They said just have somebody look it over, and essentially, I believe this is the last step. So we are well on our way. Everybody who has pre-ordered the book, we're getting close. And again, if any of you have questions you would like to submit for my Quit of the Week, or for anything else, if you just want an answer, please feel free to find me here on Facebook or Instagram, or go to my website, Quitting by Design, or listen to Quit Happens, all of the above, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.